Alright, this is lesson 44. We're going to continue with what we've been working on yesterday. So remember, we're working with systems of equations. Remember the first day of school and even like when we're graphing lines, just a quick review. Where's the answer on systems of equations? Where the lines what? Intersect. So we need to make sure that our answer is an ordered pair. We need an x and a y. So you only really have, two numbers you have to worry about, okay? We could graph, but there's also a way called by elimination when we get rid of an x or y. Okay? So we're going to continue what we did yesterday, except today's a little bit harder. So in your notes, you didn't have to write the steps down today, but I want you to go and just write a new step 2, okay? I want you to put a new step 2 in there. Don't write all this down, just the step 2 for me, okay? I'll give you 30 seconds. So sometimes the equations don't work perfectly. Remember yesterday we were looking for two numbers that were equal, right? We knew that opposites, what happens if you add like negative 3 and 3 together? What happens to negative 3 plus 3? It's 0, right? What happens if you subtract 3 minus 3? What do you get? It eliminates, right? So we're looking for the same numbers, okay? But in math, it's not always so perfect, so sometimes we don't have the same numbers. So look up here, numbers 1 and 2, okay? Just watch right now, because today's a little bit more complicated, and it's going to be a little hard. If you don't pay attention, it's going to be hard, okay? So, same thing as yesterday. I want to still name my equations 1 and 2, okay? And I want to identify the coefficients, right? So, and I want to make sure they're all lined up. So, x's are lined up, y's are lined up, equal signs are lined up, and my constants are lined up. Same thing as yesterday, right? Good? So, but I'm still looking at my coefficients. I want to find the same numbers. The x here is 1. The x here is negative 3, right? Are the x's the same? No, so we can't do anything with that, right? Now let's look at the y's. This is a positive 4, and this is a positive 1. Uh-oh, are my y's the same? No, okay? So now I need to make a way so that my x's or y's are the same. So today we need to do a new step. This is our new step 2 where we're going to have to multiply one of the equations. I want to get rid of the x's because I know that if I multiply this x by 3, you see up here, look up here, you see that's 1x. What happens if I multiply 1x by 3? I get 3x, right? And what happens if I have 3x and negative 3x? Can I cancel them out? Yeah, so check this out. Look up here. I'm going to make a new equation. I'm going to call it equation 3. Okay, and I'm going to make this equation by multiplying the first equation by 3. Okay, so 1x times 3 is 3x. Sorry. Okay, 3x. Okay, 4y times 3 is positive 12y. Then we got negative 14 times 3 is negative 52. I'm sorry, negative 42. I don't know why I said that. Negative 42, okay? And now I have a new equation. Why did I multiply the first equation by 3? Because I wanted it to be the same thing as the second equation. You see how this is negative 3? Okay? Now I'm going to take the third equation. I'm going to put parentheses just like yesterday. And I'm going to, since I worked with equation 1, I want to eliminate with 2 and 3. Now my x's are the same opposite value, negative 3x and positive 3x. So now I'm going to put a plus sign out here. Okay.
Oh, man.
I could put a plus sign right here. And we know negative 3x plus 3x is eliminated. We have 1y plus 12y is 13y. And then we got negative 10 plus negative 42 is negative 52. Now we just do what we did yesterday. I could divide both sides by 13. And we get y is equal to negative 4. So since this is a value, it's going to go into my ordered pair in the y section on the second part of the answer, negative 4. Okay, and then I'm going to plug it back into any of my two equations, or any of the three equations, really. I'm going to pick equation 2 and rewrite it negative 3x. Instead of y, I'm going to put a negative 4. I know a positive and a negative is really like saying a negative. Okay, so this is like saying negative 3x minus 4 is equal to negative 10. The opposite of negative 4 is we add 4 on both sides. Okay, so we got negative 3x The 4's cancel out on the left side of the equal sign. Negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 3. So we got x is equal to 2. And then we put our answer here as our ordered pair so that where it crosses us at 2, negative 4. Okay? Makes sense? Hopefully you're all paying attention and not distracted. Okay? Yes, Micah.
When you're multiplying like 3 times the equation, why'd you choose 3 when it's negative?
Because I wanted to make it easy. When I start multiplying by negative, it gets a little harder. Isn't it harder to multiply by negative or by positive? Negative. So you could we have multiplied by negative 3? Yeah, you could have.
But does it have to be the number before the x or multiply?
No, you could pick. You just want to have either the same number or the opposite number so you could eliminate the x's. Does that make sense? Yes. Where is that? No, I didn't. I multiplied equation 1 by 3. 1x times 3 is 3x. 4y times 3 is 12y. Negative 14 times 3 is negative 42. Do you see that? A good way to do it also is you take equation 1 and you put parentheses around it and you say you're going to multiply it by 3. You see how I put a 3 out here? I'm multiplying it by 3. Okay, did y'all see that? Okay. Any other questions on 1? Okay, number 2. Number 2, same thing. I want to do what I did yesterday. I'm going to name the equations and identify the coefficients. Over here, the x is negative 2. Coefficient on this x is negative 8. Can I eliminate the x's right now? No. What about the y's? There's a 2 and a 5. Are they the same numbers or opposites? No. Can I eliminate them? 2 and 5 you can eliminate? Okay, think before you speak. Yes or no? Can we eliminate the x's or y's? No. Okay, so which one do we want to get rid of? Well, I'm going to get rid of the x's because I know if I multiply equation 1 by 4, what's negative 2 times 4? Negative 8, right? Isn't negative 8 and negative 8 the same? So I'm going to take equation 1 and multiply it by 4. Negative 2x times 4 is negative 8x. 2y times 4 is positive 8y. Bring down my equal sign. Negative 6 times 4 is negative 24. Okay? And now I have my x's are the same coefficient, right? So I can put parentheses around the third equation. What sign should I put out here? Well, let me try putting a plus sign here. Negative 8x plus negative 8x, does that eliminate my x's? No, that becomes negative 16x. That doesn't work, so I definitely don't want to use a plus sign. Let's try a minus sign. Negative 8x minus negative 8x. Oh, that eliminates it, so I can cross it out. So I'm using the correct operation here. 5y minus positive 8y is negative 3y. Bring down my equal sign. Negative 18 minus 24 is positive 6. Then we divide both sides by negative 3, solving for y. So y is equal to negative 2. Okay? That's your y coordinate. So I'm going to put that in my answer while I'm at it, up there. Then I can plug this into whatever equation I want. Okay? In this case, I'm going to put it into equation 1 because you see how it's smaller numbers. I like dealing with smaller numbers. It doesn't matter, though. You could put it into equation 3 if you wanted, for that matter. Okay, so plugging this in back into 1, we got negative 2x plus 2y. Instead of y, I'm going to put it in and substitute y with negative 2. And we have negative 6 here. So we got negative 2x plus 2 times negative 2 is equal to negative 6. Okay. Negative 2x, we're going to multiply this out. It's negative 4. Add 4 to both sides. We get negative 2x is equal to negative 2. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. We get x is equal to positive 1. And put that in my answer. Okay? That's it. Okay, questions on 1 or 2 before we start discussing this? Is anyone confused on any part? Okay? It's similar to yesterday, but do you think we could do this? Yeah, for sure. Okay, so today, since it's Tuesday, let's have 2's tell the 1's about number 1. So if you're a 2 on this side, talk to the 1's about number 1, and then 1's tell the 2's about number 2. Ready, set, talk. Okay, so number 3, let's do number 3 together. Here we go. Please write down number 3 on your iPads. Start with number 3. Yeah, number 3. Okay, so we're doing this one together. Work alongside with me. So let's take the first equation. Let's call it equation 1. And let's call it the second one equation 2. And let's identify the coefficients, right? So we got equation 1. Let's look at our x's. Oh yeah, before that, are they all lined up? Is everything lined up? X's, y's, equal sign, and constants. Are they all lined up? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We got to make sure. Tonight's homework, I'm going to throw 2 problems that they're not lined up, so be ready, okay? All right, so x's. We have -1 and -5. Can we eliminate the x's right now? No. What about the y's? Can you eliminate the y's? No. So I have to pick a strategy. What do I want to get rid of, okay? So in this case, I'm going to take equation 1 and I'm going to multiply it by 5, right? Because if I know what's -1 plus 5? What? What's -1 times 5? I'm sorry. -5. Okay, so we got -5x. Okay, so I have to multiply the rest of equation 1 by 5. What's positive 5y times 5? Positive. Again, what's positive 5y times 5? Positive 25y. Good. Okay, what's -13? We're going to bring the equal sign down. And then what's -13 times positive 5? -65. Good. Okay. Are my x's the same on equations 2 and 3? Yes or no? Yeah, they are. So we're going to put parentheses around the whole equation 3 and a line, okay? Now, turn your neighbor, tell him what operation you're going to put out here, a plus sign or a minus sign. And say why. Really make sure you check it, okay? Okay, raise your hand if you think it's a plus sign. We have to put a plus sign out there. Good. We're not supposed to put a plus sign because what's -5 plus -5? -10. Would that eliminate it? No. Okay, so raise your hand if you say it's a minus sign. All your hands should be raised, right? Good job. Okay, so let's put a minus sign out here. -5x minus -5x is 0. It eliminates, right? Gone. Okay, now we have to work carefully. What's negative? What's -y minus positive 25y? -y minus -25, or minus positive 25y. I heard so. Okay, so let's work this out. Shh, listen. When you don't know how to do it in your head, let's do this carefully. Let's go -1 minus positive 25. Okay, again, what is -1y minus positive 25y? Negative and positive becomes a what? Negative. So what's -1 minus 25? -26y. Okay, so do side problems when you can, okay? Bring down the equal sign. Okay, last one. What's -13 minus -65y? What's -13 minus -65y? No. Okay, again, what's -13 minus -65? Okay, so since you guys aren't all getting it, I want to see a lot of side work, a lot of side problems on your paper. Okay, negative and negative makes a what? Positive. So remember from the beginning of the year, which team's bigger, the negative team or the positive team? Positive. How much bigger are they? 52. Okay. What's going on here? Oh. I see what's going on. Okay. Okay, now how do I solve for this? What should I do to both sides? We're going to divide by negative 26. Okay, so y is equal to what here, everyone? What? Negative 2, thank you. Okay. So that's going to be part of our answer, right? Now let's plug it back into an equation. Which equation do I plug it into? 1, 2, or 3?
Whichever one you would like.
Whatever one you like, okay? Since 1 is got similar numbers to 2, I'm just going to stick with 1. It doesn't really matter. So we've got negative x plus 5 times, and then instead of y, I'm going to substitute a negative 2 in, is equal to negative 13. Okay? So we've got negative x minus 10 is equal to negative 13. Okay? How do I solve for x now? What should I do to both sides? SADMEP, are there any subtraction signs by the x? Are there any subtraction signs by the x? Oh, it's on my head. That's why you can't see it. Any subtraction signs? Yes or no?
Yes.
What's being subtracted from the x? 10. What's the opposite of subtracting by 10? Add 10. Good. Okay, so we add 10 to both sides. You got negative x is equal to? Good. Are we done? No. Are there any addition signs by the x? No. Are there any division signs by the x? And no. Are there any multiply signs by the x? Yes. What's being multiplied with x?
1.
Negative 1. What's the opposite of negative 1? So, I'm sorry, what's the opposite of multiplying by negative 1? Divide by negative 1. Okay? So x is equal to 3. Okay? Are we done? No. Right? Where's the answer? Where are the lines? Cross, right? So we have to write an ordered pair for this, okay? Okay, I want to see that you are participating, so I want to see your answers on your boards. Let's go. Answers up. Good. Where's all your work? Ah, nice. Look at you. I did. You're a good kid. Okay. You got it. Okay, good. All right, so let's have you do number 4 now, okay? Number 4, I'm going to start you off. So let's write it down. You could even name them 1 and 2. Start fresh, okay? I'll sit on this side so I don't get in the way this time. Okay? Are my x's the same on what, or before that? Is everything lined up? Are the x's, y's, equal signs, and constants lined up? Yes or no? Yes, good. Okay. So, are my x's the same? Can I eliminate my x's?
No, you can't.
Nope, we can't. Can we eliminate my y's? No. So I got a question for you. Would you want to eliminate the x's or the y's? X's, why? Turn to your neighbor, describe why, explain why you could eliminate the x's. Okay. Why can we, or how can we eliminate the x's? Someone raise your hand and explain how I'm going to eliminate it.
You can multiply.
Multiply. Let's stick with multiply. You can do that, but let's do multiply today. You could do that. I don't want to confuse anyone. Yep. What are you going to do? Multiply which one?
The second one by 2.
The second one by 2. Good. So we're going to multiply the second equation by 2. So let's make a new equation, 3. Marky said we're going to multiply the second equation. You're right, too, but I don't want to go there yet today, okay? All right, so let's multiply the second equation by 2. What's 3x times 2? 6x. Okay, what's negative 3y times 2? Good, negative 6y. Good. What's negative 9 times 2? Good, okay. Okay, so did I convert equation 1 to equation 3 this time? No. Okay, so Turn your neighbor, explain. Are we going to combine 2 and 3 again? Or is it going to be different this time? What do you think? And explain why. Okay, so what do y'all think? Are we going to combine 2 and 3 this time together? No, since this time we converted 2 to 3, we want to make sure that we don't combine these two together. We don't want to do that. So we want to combine 1 and 3 together, so we're going to rewrite 1. I know that's an extra step, but we want to make sure we're organized and we don't make that mistake, okay? So let's write 1 right underneath 3. Just copy it down again. Okay? I'm just copying 1 again underneath. Yeah, because I don't want to confuse it myself, okay? I know it seems like a little extra work, but would you rather do a little extra work to not make a mistake? Yeah, I would. I do that all the time. Okay. What sign would you put out here?
The plus sign.
Good.
Negative is 6 plus 6.
Good. Cancels out. Okay. Finish up my problem. I'm going to stop right there because I want you to... Looking up here, this is what you should have done. You should have first, combined it. You got negative 2y is equal to negative 6, so y is equal to 3. Okay? Then you should have plugged it back in. I picked equation 2 because it's smaller numbers. So 3x minus 9 is equal to negative 9. Add 9 to both sides, so x is equal to 0. So your answer is 0, 3. Okay? I want you to turn to your neighbor and tell him, hey, I did it right. I did it correctly. And then the neighbor, you should say, good job. Now, if you did it incorrectly, show your neighbor where you made a mistake, okay, and how you're going to fix it. Show them on your whiteboard where you made a mistake and fix it, okay? Okay. Now, Andrew said that we could do it differently. He said to divide. I'm going to do this problem one more time. Look up here, please. Shh. Just watch. You don't have to write this down. Okay, look up here. I'm going to do this differently. Equation 1 and 2. He said divide equation 1 by 2. What happens if I divide negative 6 by 2? You get negative 3. What happens if I divide 4 by 2? I get 2. 12 by 2, I get 6. Watch this. I'm going to make a new equation 3. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3x. 4y divided by 2 is positive 2y. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay? And then I'm going to add these equations together, 2 and 3 together this time. Let's see if I get the same answer. Divide both sides by negative 1. And we get y is equal to 3. Isn't that one of the coordinates?
Yeah.
What happens if I plug this one back into equation 2? Remember earlier, what should I have gotten?
0.
X is equal to 0. So, was Andrew right to divide by 2? Yeah, so that's a trick, okay? Alright. Last night's homework is due tomorrow, and tonight's homework is due tomorrow. Make sure you use complete sentences on the problem I gave you tonight. That one's worth 4 points. We'll be grading homework tomorrow, last night and tonight. See you later. Today is compact schedule, so no 5th period. You go to what next? Lunch. Thank you.